Last time on Asagao Academy, we made a lot of bad decisions that led to a very terrible decision. Anyway, I was not eager to head to class the next day. The fashion show, combined with my glorious encore immediately following, filled me with embarrassment and horror. Sarcasm much, Hana? I walked through the doors of Poppy Hall so early that morning, I didn't even think Mai was awake. Consequently, the halls were mostly deserted, excepting the odd student who looked away when they saw me coming. I reached the door of my classroom with a sigh before an odd flicker of movement caught my eye. Jared was standing behind a row of lockers. And then another one further down the hall. Like this, he darted between locker groups heading for the staircase to the third floor.
Jared.
Jared? He jumped. Oh, yes! Hana! Oh, Hana, it's just you. He put a hand over his heart, wheezing. Thank God it's just you. How are you? He leaned against a neighboring wall, flipping his hair dramatically. Fine?
Nice.
That's great, that's great. There was a creak down the hall as the stairwell door opened. Students were now starting to trickle into the hallways, and Jared followed them with his eyes. Yeah, I was thinking that, and along the lines of that, I agree. Right? Yeah. Jared, I'm not saying anything.
Perfect.
Perfect. How wonderful. Irritated, I grabbed his chin with my hands and turned him to face me.
Hey!
Jared, come back to Earth, please. Nobody is going to be thinking about you. A few students passed by, whispering and giggling. Jared sighed. If that doesn't look like they're talking about me, what does? You would think anyone was talking about you at that rate. All they would have to be doing was talking. You can't tell me no one is seriously going to be talking about how Jared, the model student, is secretly an alcoholic. I wrinkled my nose. He had a point, was a thing, but also sounds so arrogant. The world doesn't revolve around you. I know that. What kind of idiot do you take me for? I'm not saying you're an idiot. Jared glanced at the door again and he paled. I looked over my shoulder.
Good morning.
Oh, hey Sag, what's up?
Hey girl.
Sup? Glad to see you two survived. He grinned broadly. I chuckled, but Jared shoved his hands into his pockets. Anyway, Jared. I understand. I won't talk to... Don't forget about the meeting after school tonight. We want everybody to be there. You too, Hana.
Yeah.
Got it. I saluted. Satch waved and went on his way.
What?
But... See? I told you so.
I'll see you around.
Hana, I've got to go talk to him. I'll see you later. Jared followed Satch up to their classroom, no doubt about to probe him for his opinion on what occurred the night before. I wondered whether he'd tell the truth to them about the alcohol, or whether he'd stick with his original story. Would he tell them about me throwing up? Oh jeez. God damn it. Yes, our bad decisions last time involved alcohol. I went into class, hiding my face from people around me, but the conversation I heard... I wouldn't have expected it of him. I know, right? Who knows? Maybe he's some kind of alcoholic? I don't think so. But that would make him so hot! He'd be dangerous in everything! A secret bad boy, a dark side, like me! Kakasu's eyes flickered. I do not understand the propensity of human mating patterns. Whatever, more for me. And also, great face, Kakasu. Great face. It seemed like nobody even remembered my fall. Compared to Jared, I was small news. Well, that's good and bad, I guess. The same thing happened to me at lunch, too.
I don't trust him as far as I could throw him.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd be as shady as listening to our strategy discussions.
He stole my favorite Wii remote, though.
They're all the same color. There's no way he could have known he was taking it. The group cast a suspicious glance at the hidden block table where Jimmy had donned the chef's hat and was teaching the rest how to frost cookies. They're experiencing varying degrees of success, with Ian producing the cutest smiling cookies and Caddy creating miniatures of dead moose.
I don't know about that.
Jared was listening quietly, hardly even eating his food. I couldn't tell whether he was relieved or whether their failure to address the rumors made him distrust him even more than he otherwise would have. About the fashion show.
Yeah!
You looked great.
I glanced at my blinking.
Yeah!
You really did. Even Josh agreed, didn't you?
Josh blushed and turned away.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? About my fall. It's exactly what I expected from the likes of you. God damn, Shane. I stared at Shane, unsure whether that was a joke or an insult. His expression didn't change. Nobody cares, Hana, so don't worry. She dug an elbow into my side, a bit painfully. I had a feeling she was shutting me up less out of concern for my feelings, and more out of concern for the truth of the situation getting out. I glanced at PVG, who was making faces and staring at the ceiling. Did he know too? Was he going to tell them? Okay. Thanks then.
See what I mean?
We should leave the strategy for tonight. Lunch is supposed to be about relaxing. We shouldn't drag work into it. This is the wrong group of people to be saying that to. Yeah. As we finished eating and dispersing to campus, I dawdled behind the others to catch up to Jared. He was walking like a zombie, holding his head as if unsure that this reality existed.
Hey!
Feeling better yet? I just don't get it. Why does anybody hate me? Nobody cares about whether you snuck alcohol in. At least nobody in the Normal Boots Club cares. They're your friends. It's not like you killed a person. They probably don't want to talk about it unless you bring it up. Friends? Yeah? I pat him on the shoulders. Don't worry. You'll figure out how friendship works eventually. As I rubbed his shoulders, I heard someone approaching from behind. We turned around.
Paul.
Oh, what's up?
Uh...
Oh, God. Hey guys. I don't really know how to go about saying this. He scratched the back of his head, staring at Jared's left knee.
Well...
So... You know that I'm running for council president, right? An image is very important to that, right? Oh no. So... I don't personally care what you do in your free time. I don't care whether you drink or don't. Like, personally, I just don't give a damn. But some of the students and faculty might care, and it would be bad if I got a reputation for doing things like that. Your reputation might survive, Jared. But I don't have your godlike good looks. I can't afford to have people think I'm an alcoholic because of you, so... But because of him? What I'm saying is that I need to spend less time around you, or I would appreciate it if you could spend less time around me, or us. Feel really bad, man, but that's just how it is. What the hell, Paul? You should be better than this. I turned to Jared in desperation. Right, tell him, Jared. Jared held up a hand and shook his head. No, it's fine. I get it. Image is everything. Paul sighed, and his entire body relaxing as if a bowstring was untied. I'm glad you understand, Jared. It's really nothing to do with you. Yeah, it's fine. I get it. I raised an eyebrow, but Paul simply grinned. Awesome. I gotta get to class. Can't be late, but I'll see you. He stopped mid-goodbye. I mean, I'll... bye. He dashed off down the lane. The wind blew through the trees above us, stirring small flakes of dirt that speckled my socks. Jared turned to me with a half-hearted smile. I knew that they wouldn't really accept me. Is that really what you're taking from this? You saw it happen. You're cherry-picking the worst possible things to reflect your inaccurate outlook. It just happened. You can't tell me I'm making it up. It has nothing to do with your friendship. You said it was image only. Yeah, my image is the only thing he seems to care about. But you think Paul's using you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't say that. But you're not taking it back either. Yeah, well... I stared at him. You're kidding. Jared shrugged. Class is starting soon, isn't it? It is. We should get to it then. Fine. I'm going ahead. I shouldered my bag and stalked off. I made it to class in the nick of time, right as the bell chimed, and sat at my desk with a mixture of fury and sadness in my heart. Paul shouldn't have done that. I almost didn't believe he actually did, but Jared's selective attention to the very worst interpretation signal from every situation was filling me with rage. I didn't understand why either. Sure, it was annoying that he was behaving like that, but it shouldn't be causing this extent of anger. What was going on? When class ended, I started walking out with Mai, but...
Hana.
Hana, where are you going? Hana, where are you going? Excuse me. Huh? We have practice today in the library, remember? I glanced at Mai, who shrugged. I should get some extra volleyball practice in. I've been slacking off recently anyways. Okay. Right, then let's go. Oh. Shane and I headed past tables of gossiping, frustrated, sleeping students and into the back of the room. There, at the table to the right, sat the Norwoods Club. Or most of them. As I scanned the familiar faces, I noticed two things. 1. Everybody seemed stressed beyond belief. 2. Jared and Paul were nowhere to be found. As Shane and I set our bags on the table, I soon found out why. Asked you not to come, so I expected you not to be here. Can handle not being around in public, but this is the library, and nobody comes to the cooking and New Age sections. Saw a flash of green from between a few books across the way. Jared and Paul were arguing a few bookcases over, but despite this, their voices could be heard as clear as day. Satch glanced back at them. If they don't keep it down, the librarian is going to come and kick us all out. Trust me. That's okay. We just meet in the clubroom, right? The teacher is using it for class prep today, so he won't be able to. Oh, can't you do something? You work here.
No.
I'm not. That situation is between them. I won't take sides. No one is going to see. But if they do... But it won't happen! You can't know that it won't. You can't know that it will! The two are going in circles. If anything, this will hurt Paul's reputation more than being seen with Jared.
Well, we all came here for a reason, and just because those two are being idiots doesn't mean we have to waste our time.
Uh-huh.
He's right. They'll sort out their business. In the meantime, we have strategy to discuss. I watched a flash of movement between the bookcases. What? I'm not one for conflict, but we can't leave them like that, can we? They're going to hurt us as a group.
Well...
If we get involved, it'll only get worse.
I agree with Shane. We can at least tell them and take it somewhere private. Almost done. You'll be fine. Yuck.
I slapped my hands over my face, rubbing my temples. First Paul and Jared, now this? As the argument back and forth got more heated, both sides separating themselves into thick categories, time wore on. I glanced at Josh, the only one who was staying quiet. He shrugged at me. Finally, I stood.
Guys!
The others stopped mid-sentence, glancing at me.
Just for today, can we please get on with things? I'll go tell them either to join us in whatever capacity or they can both miss this meeting.
But...
No, I don't want to hear it. I've had a very frustrating day, so either we sit down and do a strategy meeting, or I'll go find a carton of eggs and smash them across all of your faces.
I don't think they like egg in their face.
Good. Josh, start the meeting. I'll go talk to the other two.
Fucking motorcycles. Anyway, I wove my way between the bookcases, hearing the slow talk of strategy and business starting up behind me. As I approached Sharon and Paul, their voices became quieter and more urgent. They must have seen me coming, because by the time I got to their bookcase, they were standing in silence, looking at the books on either side of them.
Guys, are you ready to join us?
They exchanged looks. Jared cocked an eyebrow. Paul threw up his hands. Jared shrugged.
Fine. Yeah, we're ready.
He pointed to Jared and muttered something quietly to him. Whatever it was, Jared seemed to have expected it, as he only rolled his eyes.
Then please join us.
Paul nodded and stepped past Jared. Going towards the table, I waited for Jared by the bookcase end.
So...
I can stick around for the day, basically.
Oh, good. That's good, right?
Jared shrugged. As I headed back to the table, I tried to make small talk, but Jared's jaw remained tightly clenched. As calmly as he seemed to be taking this, things were not well, and I couldn't tell whether he was still mad at me for our argument earlier that day or whether he was angry at Paul. But for the moment, nothing I said to him seemed to serve response. We made it to the table and resumed our seats. The boys were grouped into separate bundles, each offering their own ideas on other strategies. Despite having figured out a few ways to make my score better, multiplayer matches still got the best of me. I was a slow combo builder, and when I played against others, they usually got their combos in before I could get mine fully into place. It would be extremely helpful to get a few ideas of how to make my speed faster. But Jared sat on the fringes of the group, arms crossed and deep in thought. He really looked like he could use someone to talk to, but I didn't know whether he wanted to hear it from me. I wasn't even sure whether I was ready to talk with him. My boiling rage subsided, but the anger was still there. What should I do? Well, you tried to get the meeting to get a move on, and it seems that Jared is not being very talkative, so I think talking with Jared is probably not a good idea right now. Thinking we're gonna go practice.
Shane?
I raised a timid hand. Shane came to my side.
Yes? I've been having difficulty with this, so could you?
A wry smile curled across his lips.
I'm not surprised.
God damn it, Shane. I stared at him. Was he being mean, or was he actually teasing me? Oh, God.
Don't worry. We'll get you shipshape in no time.
I nodded quietly, darting a glance at Jared. He watched me and Shane, expression unchanging. Was he mad that I didn't go talk to him, or was he just upset over what happened with Paul and I was being too self-conscious to see it didn't have much to do with me? In the end, Shane helped me settle on a strategy involving eliminating certain colored stones for others based on how many there were on the screen. A valid tactic. When I practiced with him, and he was fairly good despite his insisting otherwise, my speed slowly got better and better until I was able to consistently beat him. He shook his head after our last match, grinning.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Excuse me.
Barcelona.
I beamed, something like pride tickling my spine.
Thank you. But you've still got a lot to learn. There's only a few weeks left until the tournament. Don't forget. Strategy as always.
I saluted.
I won't.
god, Hana, what is it?
Oh, you're in uniform. Did practice just end?
I literally just set down my bag and was about to take a shower. We got a game in a few weekends and things are... She stopped, squinting at me.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you okay? You seem really tense.
No!
No!
I collapsed on the ground, face down. Mai stood over me. I began to roll across the carpet like a tiny mobile sausage.
Mai, I hate everything!
Did you have another fight with Jared?
I explained the entire situation to her, from the incident early this morning up until the practice session we just had. When I was finished, I put my face into my own hands.
My dating sucks. It's really complicated. I had no idea what's right and wrong, what you should and shouldn't do, or whether I was overreacting, and I don't want to be crazy. I don't want to be, like, in an unhealthy relationship. Is that what this is? I just don't know.
Mai sat next to me, putting an arm around my shoulder.
Well, I can tell you that you're certainly not in a really good spot right now, but all relationships go through rough patches. Realistically, something like this is bound to happen in any relationship. It's a matter of whether you can overcome it, or whether you even want to, I guess.
Is it?
She shrugged.
There's no really good answer. That's why relationships are so hard. Half the time, it's a matter of perspective. Jared's definitely stepped out of line more than a few times, or in his angle, I'm sure you have too.
But
I shut my mouth. As much as I like to pretend it was only Jared doing things wrong, maybe I had done things wrong too. I don't know. I hope not. That was just me. Was that just me being a doormat? I didn't want to lie down and take rude behavior, or should I, because people make mistakes and mess up and take their anger out on others all the time. What was permissible and what wasn't?
my head hurts.
Look, what it comes down to is, I guess, do you still even want to date Jared?
Of course I...
No.
No, Hana. Really think about it. Just because you like someone doesn't mean you have to date them. My mom used to say all the time, "Oh, I can't help it because it's because I love him," as if that were good enough reason to take any behavior. If you ask me, it was an excuse. It's a reason for her not to take the hard road. You don't owe Jared anything, not as his girlfriend and not as a human being. So it's a matter of your happiness you should think about, not his. I'm sure Jared wouldn't want you to date him if you were just doing it to make him happy either. Do you feel like he likes you sincerely? Jared had said and done a lot of things for me, and the music just stopped. Sometimes I felt like his words meant nothing. All the pretty poetry he spouted at me, about my beauty and moral goodness or whatever, meant nothing. They were as worthless as raindrops in Seattle. But there were times when Jared seemed sincere.
You look beautiful. You were scared, but you weren't hiding. You were afraid of the people you met and what they would think of you, but you didn't think to fake your feelings. You have always been, from the moment I met you, first moment I met you, genuine. You're a brave person, Hana.
And I'm terrified that if someone finds out I'm not perfect, they'll just give up on me. I did it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He does. I'm sure of it.
Then I guess the only question is, do you care for him? And do you think it's worth it to try to get through this?
That question stumps me, Mai.
Day faded into night as I turned the situation over and over in my mind. I care about Jared. I really did. Perhaps it was a question of commitment then, not one of right and wrong. Even if Jared was being a butt, he needed someone's help. This is basically his worst fear coming true. Was it any wonder he became completely irrational when dealing with it? His rationality and insistence on seeing things in the worst light possible is what angered me more than anything he said to me. It was clear that what he said to me, even including throwing me under the bus, wasn't truly how he felt about me. It wasn't good, it wasn't excusable, but it wasn't the truth of the situation. More important whether he did it once was whether he did it again, and I couldn't treat him as if he already had messed up, or else that would make a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if I wanted to stick around, I had to learn how to deal with his excruciating drama king shtick. Why did that bother me so much anyways? I stood up at the top rungs of my bed, rolling my feet across the bars, holding my bed up. It was just... I hated that line of thinking. I hated it so much. I hate it because my eyes widened. It reminded me of myself. Oh. Hana, why don't you try going to school today? I'm sure things will get better if you just try.
No.
Hana. I shot a glare at my father from across my messy bedroom.
Don't you have work to do?
Dot. He shut the door, disappointment etched across his face. I listened to his footsteps ascending the stairs, heart heavy. I hated myself like this. I hated the world like this. Today marked the start of the 7th week I'd skipped school. I turned over in my bed, still in my PJs, and rubbed a sketch pad in front of me. It wasn't like there was any point in trying. I came back, they would laugh, they would jeer, maybe they'd drag me off again and would start all over. Nobody who claimed to be my friend back then really was. None of them could be trusted, so what was the point? I pulled my blanket firmly up over my shoulders. No point. No. ... Yeah, you learn a little bit about that in Sash's route, actually. Anyway, ... Just thinking back to that year filled me with self-loathing. Anger, guilt, frustration. I wanted to go back and strangle myself.
What are you doing? Can't you see how hard your father's working? Can't you see?
But what was the use? That Hana was... gone, wasn't she? I guess. I was afraid of her coming back. And Jared was a reminder that that version of myself was never far away. But back then, what I wanted more than anything was a friend. Not someone to tell me how wrong I was. Deep down I knew how wrong I was and how stupid I was being. But at the time, I felt I couldn't help it. I was hurt, and I needed some help to overcome it. Help that I got. From Asagao. From the Normal Boots Club. While Mai hums the, Asagao theme song. From my friends. Jared didn't seem to believe the Normal Boots Club truly liked him. But despite that, he still seemed to trust me. He told me exactly how Paul's behavior made him feel. To some extent, he trusted me. That meant that there was still hope, and that if Jared needed help, I was the best person for the job. Maybe he was behaving like a baby, and maybe some people would think that reason enough to discard him. He certainly was making my life harder. That was the honest truth. But when I thought about the Jared that I liked, I knew he was worth it. I nodded to myself. Perhaps I overreacted. Yes, he was being frustrating and pessimistic, but I got angry at him for my own reasons. I felt bad. So I knew what I needed to do. I would apologize. I didn't see Jared in the hallways for class, but I got my spirits up. I figured I would see Jared at lunch and be able to apologize to him there, but when I got to the table, he was nowhere to be found. We sat and I scanned the lunch line for him. Was he running late?
Hana.
Paul cast a guilty look in my direction. God damn it, did you Paul something again, Paul?
Oh.
I glanced down at my food. It's only for a little while. I looked at Paul again. I wasn't sure whether he was saying that to comfort me or to comfort himself. I stood.
Hana.
Sorry, I have somewhere I should be.
Leaving my food behind, I dashed through the cafeteria. Where could he be? I checked the classroom. The club room. The library to no avail. And then the dance room. Oh wait, running out of time, I dashed to the boys' dorm.
Jared?
I made to his door, wheezing beyond belief.
Jared, let me in.
I knocked feebly on his door, unsure whether he was even there. Where else could I go? I slumped down against his door, early exhausted.
All I wanted was to apologize.
Jared's door opened with a click, and I fell backwards into the room.
Ow!
Hana?
Hana? I stood.
Hey.
Jared, there you are.
You came to find me? Why? Is something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Well, kind of. Can I come in?
By all means. He stood back and held the door for me. I wandered in, dusting off my skirt. The closet door stood open a crack, and I could see some kind of machine glimmering in the half-light. I peered at it, trying to get a closer look. So? Jared cleared his throat. What brings you here?
Well, I know things to us have been tense over the past few days, and you've been going through a lot. I was forgetting my behavior, and I wanted to apologize.
I stopped. Jared's phone was ringing. Jared immediately dug through his pockets.
Sorry, I'll shut it off.
He glanced at who was calling and froze.
I'm sorry, Hana. I need to take this.
I clamped my mouth shut, frustration and concern mingling inside me. Jared placed the phone to his ear. Hello? Jared! God damn. A fierce female voice shot out on the other end, so loud I could hear her clearly from where I was standing.
Hi, Mother.
Mother?
How dare you sneak alcohol into the school? Who do you think you are? How do you think this is going to play out when the tabloids get a hold of it?
Jared glanced at me and moved across the room. I could no longer make out the words of the conversation, only the raw, angry screeching of his mother and the increasingly panicked platitudes he made.
I know, it was a stupid mistake. No, I would never. I'm very sorry, Yes, I'll take responsibility.
His voice rose higher and higher in pitch, just as his mother's voice increased in volume. It didn't take long for he was holding the phone away from his ear, and I could hear what she was saying again.
Despicable, worthless creature! I should have listened to your father when he told me to get rid.
Damn, that's brutal.
Hana, maybe you should step outside.
Jared tried to whisper it to me, but his mother immediately stopped talking.
Who is that?
What? No one.
Who are you talking to? Anna? Is this a girl you've been hanging around with? I knew it! I knew you would never behave in this manner! A girl is to blame for the situation, isn't she? That doesn't surprise me! Anna!
Jared's mother was shouting to the receiver, apparently now talking with me.
Am I talking to the one responsible for this situation my beloved son is now trapped in?
Beloved? Really? Jared shook his head fervently, but I couldn't tell whether he was trying to warn me away or was trying to get me to deny that I was responsible. What should I do? You know, I really don't like this situation. My God, this is terrifying. Okay, well, I have a feeling that Jared doesn't want us to talk to her, but I think we should take the phone. Just because we so badly want to say something, anything. And also, maybe we can get her to understand that Jared is not a filthy alcoholic, but it might turn out bad for us anyway. I think either choice is bad, but let's take the phone. Sounds more interesting. A sudden rush of courage flowed through my veins. I crossed the room. What are you? I took the phone from his hands.
Yes, I am. You should take your anger out on me, not him. Jared saved me from a terrible situation. I would have lost my scholarship and been unable to attend to school if it weren't for him. If you ask me, your son is a hero, not the despicable creature you're making him out to be.
Jared watched, eyes wide as I weighed my punishment.
You wretch! So I'm to assume you're after my boy for his money and connections? Look, little girl, you might have been sly enough to manipulate him, but you'll never make it past me. I'll never forgive you for this. I'll never approve of you. And if anything like this happens again, I assure you, your scholarship is the last thing you'll be worrying about.
I swallowed, attempting to keep tears from my eyes and a shaking from my voice.
Go ahead. If I really deserve it, then go ahead.
Better me than Jared. I had no connection to this demon incarnation of a woman, but Jared knew her as his mother.
Let me speak to Jared again, now!
I handed the phone to Jared, unable to keep my hand from trembling. He took it from me, staring at me in awe, then he pulled me into a hug.
Hana,
Thank you. My trembling faded as he held me. Right. This is why I did it, for Jared. Jared gave me strength.
Jared!
please, go for now. Don't worry about anything.
Jared Nobbenbauer!
Go. Jared shooed me away as he held the phone back up to his ear.
Yes?
At least I can commend you for choosing a woman who faces consequences, but what I said to her remains true regardless.
With one last look over my shoulder at Jared, I left the room. My God. I told Maya what happened with a trembling voice and she nodded grimly. It was just before class starts, so there wasn't much either of us could do. But as the day slipped into night, I worried. I didn't hear back from Jared, not at any point. Was he okay? Did he even go to class? Had his mother always been like that? These questions circled in my mind as I hovered over my homework, another essay from Miss Shizuka.
Hana, if you don't focus, you'll miss the deadline.
What?
Huh?
I snapped out my mental fog. Maya was watching me with concern.
Right, sorry.
I went back to my work, but I felt Maya's gaze on me for a while longer. In the end, Jared never told me what was going on, not then and not the next day. I was worried, but I didn't want to bother him. Surely he was dealing with enough on his own, and if he wasn't talking to me, he didn't want to be bothered. Right? The next day, I waited for Maya in the theater before class. Okay, I think we're going to cut it off here for this episode. In case you liked this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.